This South Point 400 DFS Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Yes, that's right. Underdog is hooking you up with your new customer. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code RACE, SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting until I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Cody, I've been trying out new ways in the pre-roll to emphasize Underdog, and it just threw me off today. Like, I don't know what it was about. I threw myself off. I was all like, "Woo, that was kind of."
You've made such an impression. You made yourself pause. I love it. It's like Underdog. Oh, God, what did I do?
It's like, well, this is it. We're in for it now. So, yeah, anyways, welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the show. Man, we are at the end of the week, and we are talking DFS for the Vegas race, baby. Vegas, mile and a half. And it's funny, I was listening to Full Tank with Phil earlier today, as I tend to do on Thursdays. I didn't realize, and it didn't dawn on me, this is the last mile and a half we have for the rest of the season, Cody.
Yeah, it's everything is the last at this point. Last week was the last road course. This week's the last mile and a half. Next week's the last super speedway. Then it's the last short. Well, I guess we got two short tracks kind of, but Martinsville, Phoenix are pretty different. So, yeah, a lot of lasts as we get. There's only 4 race weekends left, Rod. It's when you say that out loud. And I was building up the schedule with Adam here last week. You're like, how many races do we have in October? All that stuff, and it was like, oh shit, October's it. We're done. Like, yes, technically the championship race is like November 2nd or something, but it's like basically the end of this month, and that's all we got left. So pretty sad about that, but we're not going to go anywhere. We still like the off-season stuff and have plenty of fun then as well.
Yeah, it is kind of sad to think, though, because as you come, again, we talked about this, like we start in February, and it just feels like October and November are such a long way away, and here we are in October, and like, wow, feels like February's been such a far back away.
Yeah. Well, you get to that June, July grind, and it's like, man, we've been doing this for a lot of weeks in a row, going hard, and then all of a sudden it's October, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to be done yet.
Well, like you always tell me, and you always remind me, Rod, this is the shortest off season in the world, so we're definitely going to be.
Say no football where you got to wait 8 months. We got. It's almost no time. It's crazy because, I mean, the championship race is in November. And then we're racing again in sometimes it's late January for the Clash or very early February. So it is a very short break we have. Well, it feels very long because it's during the wintertime. But, hey, that's all right.
It is all right. So, yeah, go back if you haven't already. And I don't know what your guys' schedule will allow you to do, but listen to the betting episodes from both the Xfinity, because obviously it's Xfinity and it is Cup Series. No trucks this week. Sorry to disappoint all the truck lovers out there, aka Jess. We have no trucks this weekend, but it is Xfinity, it is Cup, and it's still going to be very entertaining.
Couple of spicy shows too. So if you don't usually listen to the betting shows, you want to hear Rod and I argue a little. I think, man, I feel like we should almost just, maybe that's a thing we do next year where we have to find a head to head we disagree on, just so we can argue about it, because it's a lot of fun. I like arguing with you, Rod. I'm gonna start picking more fights with you.
And it's funny. You sound like my wife now. No, listen, it's once upon a time I wanted to join the debate club because I do enjoy, because full disclosure, and we won't spend a lot of time on this, but it's a lot of fun. If you want to have some fun with yourself, wait, hold on. This isn't a NASCAR After Dark episode.
Wait a minute, where are we going with this, Rod? Wrong show, Rod.
If you would like to have fun, Google my name and a steroid article that I wrote back in college.
Oh, I'm sort of glad you stopped now, because if you would have said, if you want to have fun with yourself, Google my name. Wow, okay.
We have gone off the rails for a Thursday. I absolutely love it. I had to write for college. I had to write an argumentative essay. And this was like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when the whole steroid thing, Barry Bonds and McGuire and all this Sousa stuff was huge. So they were like, well, write an argumentative essay about a controversial topic. So I picked steroids in sports, and I sort of just took the opposite end of it and like, hey, shut up about it, right? We're watching baseball more than we ever have. These guys are doing things that they've never done. Like, am I saying steroids are bad? Sure. But are they working for them right now? Yeah. And everybody's doing it. So that thing blew up, and it got printed in a couple of textbooks. Like, I literally got printed. Yeah. In textbooks alongside of Maya Angelou.
I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna go find this later when I'm ready to. I don't remember how you phrased it. Take care of yourself. What was it? But anyways, later on in my free time, I'll have to look that up. And that's I already agree with you, because and those guys should be in the Hall of Fame too, because they made the game exciting and great. But that's an off-season conversation.
It most definitely is. All right. You know what else is makes things exciting and great? The SGPN app. Make sure you go get that. The NHL's back. So is a hockey gambling podcast. You can join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest games, storylines, awards, and best bets through the season. Let it slide, and you could do that all from the SGPN app. Go download it from the App Store or your local market. I did ask my local market today if they had the app, and they said no. And I said, you need to get it. So I'm pretty sure they didn't know what I was talking about. It's all right. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Cody, we've set up Vegas already thoroughly this week as far as betting is concerned. So let's set this up for DFS. No real news to report today, as we've kind of covered through it the last couple of days. So let's do this. Let's set up this DFS show properly, shall we?
Let's get into it. I'm excited. Right. I'm ready.
We are set. This is, of course, we're going to do the Xfinity first, because that's how we tend to do things. The Focused Health 302, set for 201 laps around this 1.500 mile paved track for 301.500 miles around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, we are going to give you our high price, mid-tier, and low price driver from both the Xfinity and the Cup Series today. So, Cody, entry list looking kind of normal as per usual, but a couple of names stand out.
Yeah, it's got 38 cars for 30 spots, so they'll all make it. Now, Hemrick, he's jumping up from the Truck Series. He's got the week off. He'll be back in that 11 car for Colleague Racing. Corey Day, the Kyle Larson prodigy, he's going to be back in the 17 for Hendrick Motorsports. Eric Almirola, he'll be back in the 19 car, again racing for owners points in that one. Trevor Bayne making his return to the series, first time this season. He'll be in the 24 for Sam Hunt Racing. Our guy Austin Green, he's back in the 32 car, and Josh Williams back in the 91 for old DGM Racing.
So is he just going to park it then? Are we just assuming that he's going to go?
I think that's next week at Talladega. That's where he is parked. I believe that exact ride before.
He really has too. So, all right. Well then, Cody, I feel like it's a good time as any to get right into it and give you our high price driver for this race.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take your outright for the Xfinity Series, Rod, Justin Allgaier. I don't agree with betting him on the outright, because I think that it's too short of a number for the things that can go wrong and happen to go wrong with the piano man himself. But at 11,500, even at the top of the board, well, second on the board, 2-1 Connor Zilic, of course. I think Justin Allgaier is an outstanding DFS play this week, and I think that he has got a ton of upside. And we just saw it 2 weeks ago, I guess it was now. Does last week really count? Road course, who cares, right? Not really applicable to just about anything that goes on. But we saw it 2 weeks ago back at Kansas, where Justin Allgaier was the dominant car on the entire day, leading a ton of laps. Now, granted, he didn't win, so that's kind of the argument against betting him to win. But he had an outstanding day where he started in 5th place and finished in 13th. 55 fastest laps. He led 79 laps. Great day there. Scored you 66.5 points on the day. And you go back and you look at Justin Allgaier here at Las Vegas, and it's been nothing but good, really. 8 races in a row, he's finished inside of the top 10. He had a 14th place finish back in 2021. But if you go back over the last 12 races, that 14th place is the only finish outside of the top 10. If you go back over his last 17 races here, he's only got 2 finishes outside of the top 10. A 31st where he had an engine issue back in 2019, and then, of course, that 14th. And really, in 22 career starts, 1 finish outside of the 15th, outside of the top 15, that 31st that I just mentioned, even in his Turner Scott Motorsports days back in the 31 car, 2013, 15th place, worst he finished with them. So he's been outstandingly good at this track. He led 102 laps here in the spring. Did actually win this one back then, so found his way to victory lane. Led 42 laps here last fall where he finished in 3rd place. And he's had some other big laps, led day 62 laps, 90 laps as well. So been very strong. And then, we kind of talked about this yesterday. He's been the class of the field on the bigger tracks, going back throughout this season, kind of when you're looking at the mile and a half stuff. So did have a rough day at Indianapolis where a piano fell on him, because that tends to happen. But he had a fast car at Pocono, unfortunately finished in 10th place. Charlotte, though, he led 103 laps, 4th place finish at that mile and a half. Texas, he led 99 laps. The only problem is he finished in 35th place. That was the one where he was leading. Wasn't it a lap car that got in the way or something? And he just completely, should have checked up, didn't, ended up wrecking the car. But again, another mile and a half where he just had the dominant, the fast car. Led the 102 laps here in the spring, as I mentioned before. Dominant fast car. He won Miami. Led 21 laps that day. So all the mile and a halves that we've been to this season, led 56 laps back at Darlington as well back in the spring. So all the mile and a halves, all the bigger intermediates we've been to this year, he's been the best car, had a great day. So don't agree with betting him as the outright necessarily, but I do love him as a DFS play. 11,500. He's going to go get you laps led, going to get you fastest laps. Can he close the deal at the end? It's always the question mark with Justin Allgaier, but nonetheless, he'll have a good
And
DFS.
he's going to win the race. I will predict that, because I truly believe that he is going to win this race, because I don't know. It feels like this is a Justin Allgaier thing to do, which is why, spoiler alert, you listen to the betting episode tomorrow or yesterday or whenever you listen to it. Well, you can listen to it tomorrow. I'm not telling you how to do it.
You could listen tomorrow. You could listen Saturday morning. You could listen next week. It's probably not going to help you betting wise, but sometimes it's fun to listen after the fact and be like, wow, they really nailed this, or holy shit, they were off on this one.
Why do I listen to this
way.
show again? I don't understand what's going on, but yeah, listen to that. TK saying it's Harrison Burton's birthday today, which it is, by the way. Last
Happy birthday, Harry.
No, yeah. A happy birthday, Harrison Burton.
Maybe we will mention him today, Rod. We'll see. You'll have to stay tuned to find
I think so. All right. So my high price driver for this one is the flip side of this. You talked about him. In fact, we just flipped outrights in really all there is to it. You brought him up yesterday in the betting episode as far as maybe winning this race. Well, if he does, then $11,000 for Eric Almirola is a good standard price for him. On this track in the Xfinity Series, does not have a win, but was a runner-up in the spring race, led 51 laps in this one. But again, you don't need him to win to have a good DFS day. He is a good, solid finisher here, 11.7. His average finish, he finished 13th in the 20 car in 2024 in the fall, 12th, 17th, 12th, 11th, 15th. So, he's going to get you a good, solid, close to top 10 finish on this particular track. But I'll tell you what, he's been tearing it up this year in the Xfinity Series. 8 top 10s in 13 starts, 5 top 5s, 2 wins, the most recent of which came at Bristol. He finished 6th at Gateway, 2nd at Dover, 7th in Atlanta, 6th at Nashville, 2nd at Vegas, 1st at Phoenix, 3rd in Atlanta. What does that do for you in terms of points in the DraftKings world, in the DFS world? Well, he's averaging 41.4 fantasy points per race this season, with races of 65.4 at Bristol, 51.2 the week before that at the New Hog or the Blues Hog race, the 56, 53, 42, 39, 77, 74, 55. I mean, again, if you're averaging 41.4 fantasy points every time you set foot in that car, I mean, that's at $11,000. It is very difficult to return on value if you're not finishing in the top 3 or leading a bunch of laps or having a lot of fast laps. And for Eric Almirola, he does that when he's in there, right? So it's just a matter of pick your poison between Allgaier and Almirola, maybe even put in a couple of lineups with, one of each, because to me, these guys are going to be the two that are going to be fighting for it. A lot of people are like, well, what about Connor Zilic? He's the most expensive guy on here. He's 12.5, but we talked about this in the betting episode yesterday. These mile and a halves has not necessarily been as kind to Connor Zilic as these miles, as these road courses, as these short tracks. So a lot of people are going to be loading up on Connor Zilic thinking, well, he's the best there is, and he's the best there. Yeah.
You got to play him every week is what it feels like. But I'm with you. This might be the week where you go away from him. He starts in the front row. You're probably going to have to play because he's probably going to a lot of laps. But if he doesn't, I don't think it's just going to be easy for him like it's kind of been everywhere else. Again, as we mentioned yesterday, he could still go out and kill everybody and win, and we wouldn't be shocked. But we definitely don't think that it's a for sure thing to be his. So, yeah.
Well, then again, both of us talked about them. So if you want more information on Allgaier or Almirola, go back to the beginning episode.
Or, on the opposite side of things where we have opinions on the other drivers. So you can go back and listen to it.
That's the fun part about doing this show. So, all right, let's get to more of our, we'll get to the mid-tier drivers in just a second, but I would like to take this opportunity to tell you about our friends over at MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none, and their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. There's easy deposit and lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. I'm telling you right now, you guys move lines, even on Aussie Rules Football, because Aussie Rules Football is in their women's division right now, and that ladder is pretty tight. But I've been talking all week about the Western Bulldogs taking on the Essendon Bombers, and their Bulldogs have tightened up now. They're at plus 7.5. I'm going to take them. They were pretty gutty last round, and I think they're going to give Essendon something to contend with. So Western Bulldogs plus 7.5, minus 115 over there on mybookie.ag in the Aussie Rules Football section. Make sure you go get down on that. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. How about my friends over at Novig? We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you are getting the best prices. The reduced juice on bets, well, it's just the way to get in on this. Their Eagles are minus 7.5. Most books are getting this about minus 120, minus 125. Novig giving this out at minus 103. Drinking less juice when you bet on Novig and when you place all of your fun on Novig. Novig is available in 35 or more states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. You can ask any one of my family members. I don't like drinking juice. It's too healthy for me. So if I don't have to drink as much of it, then I'm liking it. So thank you, Novig, for that.
Well, you only
drink the juice if you lose.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try, and it didn't work. I started to speak before I'd figured it out, and then I realized I wasn't gonna figure it out, and that's how we got where we are now.
Thursday's the new Friday for us. We just know this, and this is exactly the way it is. So, all right, Cody.
The record scratch. That's me. You might be wondering how I got here. All right, Rod. Speaking of things you might be wondering about, you might be wondering who Trevor Bayne is, and that's what we're going to talk about next. $7,400. Trevor Bayne is going to be in the 24 for Sam Hunt Racing this week. For context, that is the teammate to Dean Thompson, who I had a lot of thoughts on yesterday with the beautiful mustache that man has, and as well as his driving and stuff. But Trevor Bayne, you're going to talk about his teammate here. If you don't know who Trevor Bayne is, he's the youngest Daytona 500 winner in history. He won back in 2011 at 20 years old in one day. So imagine that. You turn 20, the next day you win the Daytona 500. Pretty incredible. 187 career Cup races run over his career, 164 Xfinity races, 10 truck races. So he's been around and he's got a lot of experience. Not a ton lately. We mentioned he's run one truck race this season, hasn't run any Xfinity races, only a couple last year. So you got to go back to 2022, kind of the last time he ran a lot of races. Now, granted, most of those races were in Joe Gibbs Racing equipment, so he's not in Joe Gibbs Racing equipment anymore. So it's one of those deals where you're going to have to it should fall in between this, I guess. It's probably not going to be quite these results, but we know he's got it in him. He's a good race car driver. I think he does a lot of sim work still for some of the teams. So still around and involved. But 2022, when he was out there in Joe Gibbs Racing, he ran a lot of 1.5 miles. Miami, he finished in 6th place. He led 46 laps on the day. Here at Las Vegas, he finished in 5th place. He had a 2nd place at New Hampshire. He had a 2nd place at Nashville. He had a 9th place at Charlotte, a 3rd place at California, similar track to this, RIP, and a 4th place at Phoenix. And then his other 2 starts were Atlanta and Talladega. Those were the only 2 finishes outside of the top 10 or super speedways. So ran really well when he ran here is what I'm trying to say. And then he's got 6 career starts here. And it goes back. So he ran here in 22, as I just mentioned, with Joe Gibbs Racing in that 18 car. That was that 5th place finish. He was with Roush back in 2011 through 2014, 8th, 4th, 5th place finishes there. And then for Diamond Waltrip Racing back in 2010, a 6th place finish. I know a lot of that's a long time ago. Yes, but to the point of when he's been here, and granted, those were all really good cars. Roush Fenway nationwide cars back in that day were extremely good, and Gibbs has been good as well. But he ran really well, looked really good a couple of years ago when we saw him in there. So I think you're going to get him in here. I think a lot of people aren't going to know who he is. They're going to think, oh, Sam Hunt. And that's what we heard last week with the Dean Thompson, or back at Kansas with the Dean Thompson. But it's Sam Hunt. Well, as I told you yesterday, Dean's been pretty good on the 1.5 miles in that Sam Hunt car. So I think that Trevor's got something in him, and at only $7,400, I think that, you're going to have to save some money some places if you're going to get guys like Zillage, or if you're going to play a Zillage at 12.5, which we said maybe not to do, but Allgaier at 11.5, Almirola at 11,000. Those are 2 guys we've given out. That's some big spending money up there. You got to save some money. And I think this is a great place to dip down in the middle and get what has the potential to be a solid driver in Trevor Bayne. And a very experienced guy. So Trevor Bayne,
definitely don't hate that. Again, the value that these guys, especially in the middle of the pack, give you at this particular price, and the experienced guys, right? That's because you can find guys that don't have the experience in the Xfinity Series in these mid prices.
He also has like 6 kids. It's something ridiculous. And like, if he's putting together an opportunity, it's not just to go out there and finish 25th. Like, it's going to be a pretty decent opportunity for him. That's why you're not seeing him run every week in a shitty car. He's kind of picking and choosing. Not that this is the best car in the world, but it's a decent enough car. He's going to pick and choose spots where he think he has a good shot, and I think this is one of them. And as TK points out, currently a mentor for Corey Heim. Has that been working out? Yes, fucking has. So I like it.
All right. Well, speaking of the birthday boy, how about Harrison Burton? He comes in at $7,200 in this contest, and he is my mid-tier driver before you even brought him up. He was already in the dock. I just want you to know that. I did not realize it was his birthday. Maybe the gods kind of lend me to him because of this. But look, Harrison Burton earlier in the spring got you 46 points at this race, 46 exactly. He started 18th and ended up finishing in 8th place on this track. Now, I will get that was the Harrison Burton we got in the beginning of the year when he was actually looking like a playoff contender, right? With the 3rd place at Rockingham, that 6th place at Texas. He did have a 12th place at Nashville. And he's had some pretty solid finishes over the course of the season. Now, it hasn't been so good lately. The 22nd at Gateway. He did get a 7th at Bristol, which is fun, but 20th at Kansas. 34th at the Roval. But he's had some great DFS days altogether. I'll tell you that much right now. He's averaging 31 fantasy points per race. And at $7,200, that's actually not really bad at all. He got you 40 points at Bristol. He got you 37 points in Portland, 41 points at the Glen, 51 points at Iowa, which is really a good outing there. 27 before that, 30 before that at Dover. Just some pretty solid DFS days all the way around. And for $7,200, like that's kind of what I'm after. I'm after that 30 to 40 point range out of a guy like Harrison Burton. Think about it this way too. No longer in the playoffs. And it does one of two things to drivers, right? It either relaxes them a little bit because they know that there's not a lot of pressure now anymore to make the next round, or it pisses them off, in which case they drive pissed and get a better finish for you there too. So again, just the not pressure of being in the playoffs now versus the just overall feelings for him. And like I said, he finished 8th here earlier in the spring, which leads me to believe that the speed is there. Whether or not the luck, whether or not the concentration is all there as well, that goes along. But it's encouraging to know that car can end up finishing in a good position. Overall on this track, though, not bad for Harrison Burton, to be honest with you. He's got 5 starts in the Xfinity Series on this track between Joe Gibbs and that 25 AM Racing team. He's got 5 top 10 finishes, all of them. 5th place in 2020, 9th, 10th, and 8th earlier. So doesn't matter what he's driving, he's finishing inside of the top 10. And the great part about it is not only is that a good finishing position, but a couple of times he's improved his start position as he did in 2021 in the spring, where he started 22nd, finished in 9th place on that one. Not going to lead you laps, not going to probably get you a ton of fastest laps, but what you're hoping for is for a subpar qualifying effort turned into a pretty solid finish for a guy like Harrison Burton. And we know he can do it. So give me Harrison Burton, $7,200, my mid-tier driver.
Yeah, I like it. Birthday today. Just got married a couple weekends ago when Xfinity Series was off. He made that post yesterday thanking AM Racing, and the Ford logo was removed. You don't remove the Ford logo if you're looking for a job. So I think he's got a job. Now he can kind of show off for his new employer a little bit and just go run carefree, because he doesn't have the pressure and all that of, for the last 10 weeks, it's been about he's in the playoffs, or it was a sweat for him getting in the playoffs. He just barely beat out his cousin Jeb to get in there. That sounded so NASCAR. He beat out his cousin Jeb. That's just like, how much more redneck can you get? Oh yeah, I beat out cousin Jeb in the points there the other day in the NASCAR race. Now we made all the damn playoffs. Oh my God. Okay. Moving on.
No, seriously, that is exactly what it is. I think
the hair.
He's got that going for him now. He's going to have a lot of fun, and yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, Rod, I'll keep it short and sweet on this one. Dean Thompson, $6,300. Look, if you go down near the bottom, I feel like we've talked about a lot of these guys lately. They still kind of remain good plays. The Joey Gases, the Ryan Ellis's, the world. Like we've mentioned some of those guys. I just want to continue to stress how much I like Dean Thompson this week. We saw it at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. Now he qualified in 9th place, so it wasn't even a poor qualifying effort, but it was still a very good day for him. He ran top 10 all day long, had a great run for you, 33.9 points as a cheap driver down here. And you go back and you just look through his points log, not great last week, fine, whatever. It's the Roval. Again, who cares? But 38 points at Bristol, 41 points at Gateway, 41 points back at Daytona, 36 points at the Glen. So there he had a good road course, and 40 points and 31 points, 42, 48, 51, 45, 55. Like, just looking through his log, it just keeps getting better and better. He's super consistent each and every week. Most weeks he doesn't qualify well, so maybe he will, like he did at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, but generally starting a little farther back. But it doesn't stop him from getting good finishes. He's been very, very good on the bigger tracks, the 1.5 miles this year. Indianapolis started in 16th, finished in 10th place. You go back to Pocono, started in 25th, finished in 17th. Charlotte started in 23rd, finished in 5th. Did go backwards at Texas, kind of the outlier when it comes to 1.5 miles. Here at Las Vegas, started in 28th, finished in 15th. You'll take all of those runs. We talked about the possibility of we talked about how a top 10 is a great bet. The possibility of a top 5, which, by the way, pointed out over in the Discord, if you're not over there, you're missing out. 110-1 for his top 5 was posted on Fanatics today. So I know some people messaged me and they got in on that. Hopefully you did. I'm not sure if it's still up or not, but go check it out because that's a hell of a number for a guy that just did it at Kansas a couple weeks ago, running inside the top 10 throughout the entire day, both stages, up front all day. At $6,300, he can give you a really great return on your investment. And there's people that just don't believe, oh, it's a Sam Hunt car. Oh, Dean Thompson wrecked in the Truck Series all the time. They're just not paying attention. And good, take advantage of them and play a guy like Dean Thompson here.
Yeah, again, we've got people that are riding the mustache in the Discord, so that's what we're going with that one. Absolutely.
It's always good to ride the mustache. I always preach ride the mustache.
Better than riding the Dente these days. But all right, my low price driver, you talked me into him as we were actually talking through it. I'm going to go with Josh Williams. Why the hell not? $5,500 for the driver of the 91 in this particular race. And look, he got you 30 points in Kansas a couple of weeks ago. And I feel like that might even be the best starting off point. And that was in the 91 car already. Right. So he's done it once before, got you a pretty decent, and look, at $5,500, 30 points is not bad. Think of it this way too. In Charlotte earlier this year in the 11, started 27th and finished in 6th place, by far his best fantasy day of the season. And really just that's 41 points in that, 49 points rather, in that race right there, where he got you a good chunk of change. 41 in the race before that, where he started in 26th and finished in 14th. I mean, all Josh Williams tends to do is start in the back and wind up somewhere in the top 15, right? And that's kind of what you want out of this guy. You want a 24th, 25th place start, and then a good 15th place finish for a guy like Josh Williams. Like I said, at $5,500, I'm taking a chance on him being a poor qualifier and a better finisher than that. And like I said, averaging 23.1 fantasy points per race, but that's kind of a little bit not the full story because he was in the 11 the whole time. He was not doing all that badly, right? He got you 25 points in the at Daytona, rather, followed up with a 16-point effort, 34-34, 8 in Las Vegas earlier this season, where he started 24th and finished 29th, so not good for you there. But then 16-35, -2, unfortunately, at the Sports Clip Haircuts VFW Help a Hero, but 41-49. Couple of bad races at following that up at 57 at Charlotte. So again, really, really solid fantasy days when he does finish well and starts poorly. So I'm hoping for another one of those for Josh Williams to get us over the line. And at $5,500, especially in some of these other, like Garrett Smithley, Mason Maggio, Mason Massey, like all these guys don't really do it for me. And so when you get down to the bottom, it's either Ryan Ellis, Brendan Poole, which we've given out to you multiple weeks in a row. But I'm going to take a chance on Josh Williams this time.
Yeah, I don't mind this play at all. TK was wondering if we have a better picture of the mustache, Rod. There it is. Look at that beautiful mustache. It's a little bit of an Anthony Davis unibrow going on in the middle there, but you got to ride the mustache. Always good news for the mustache. But yeah, I like Josh Williams. I think you laid out a pretty good case, and we've seen like 5th place finish at Charlotte earlier this year. Yeah, it was a call-it car. He's not in that this week, but he's got the ability to drive well on these 1.5 miles. So I'll back you play on it.
All right, get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our DFS plays for this Focused Health 302 for the Xfinity Series. Cody started you off with Justin Allgaier at $11,500 as his high price driver. I gave you Eric Almirola at $11,000 as mine. Cody dropped down to Trevor Bayne at $7,400 for his mid-tier driver. I said, give me Harrison Burton, birthday boy himself, at $7,200 as mine. Dean Thompson, we're riding the mustache, at $6,300 for the low price driver, and Park It Josh Williams at $5,500 for my low price driver. We will come back with the Cup Series DFS plays for this race in Las Vegas. But let me officially tell you first about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is also a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. It's available in a ton of sports. Hey, listen, if you have not been listening to me all week long, I've been talking to you about the Disc Golf Pro Tour, where I gave you a pretty much free Missy Gannon better than 4.5 in her finishing position for this throw pink with DW championship, or DG championship rather. Well, guess what? Now 1.5 is what they're giving you, the better than at 1.04. You just lost out on an opportunity to have 3 places in this one because you waited. That's okay. Still take this better than, because guess what? Missy's sitting on top of the charts right now, -6. So she's under 6 on the day, sitting ahead of a -5, a -3, and a -3. So looks like Missy Gannon's going to take this thing. I wish you would have listened to me earlier when I told you to do it at 4.5, but 1.5, you can still take it. And the better than is still at 1.04. So find that and all kinds of other great stuff. And you got a brand new offer. If you're a new customer, play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code RACE, SGPN. Football's back, baby. And Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. They went 8-2 on passing props overs in week 5 and 5-0 on Dylan Gabriel debut props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build. You can win $1,000. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. And download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. I don't know if you've ever watched a Disc Golf Pro Tour match. It is riveting, especially when you've got something on it. And yeah, I wish you guys, I hope they listened to me. I hope they listened to me earlier when I said 4.5, because she's going to crush this thing.
Hey, you know your shit when it comes to these off the wall, different sports, Rod. So, yeah, I like to argue with you plenty, but not.
It's
on
always so much fun to pay attention to these other sports, because it reminds you the love of what you signed up for. So, speaking of love of what you signed up for, how about the South Point 400? We are set for 267 laps around this 1.500 mile paved track for 400.500 miles around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, we talked through a lot of stuff in the betting episode about who we like. Obviously, DFS, once again, will return with the high price, low price, and high price, mid-tier, and low price drivers for your DraftKings slate. And yeah, some of the same names, but for good reason, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rod, I'm going to kick it off. Chase Briscoe, $9,700. So when you look at the board, Captain Shook himself at the top, $11,500. And you can get Chase Briscoe for $9,700. It's not even arguable that Chase Briscoe has done so much better than Kyle Larson on the 1.5 miles here recently. So I don't know why you would want to play Kyle Larson, Captain Shook, over Mr. Chase Briscoe, but had a great day at Kansas. He started on the pole. Unfortunately, didn't quite take advantage of that as much as you'd have hoped. Only led 19 laps, but he finished in 4th place. A good, strong run for him there. Go back and you look. Indianapolis started on the pole again, led 34 laps. Some late shenanigans there. Unfortunately, didn't get the best finish, but Pocono, he was able to get it done there. He started 6th place, 72 laps led. That's a much shorter lap track because it's so big, but wins the race, has a great day for you. Michigan was a bit rough, but started on the pole. So, maybe we need to look at him started on the pole, because he's done it a lot on these bigger tracks where you can just lay it all out. He does that quite often. I need to pull up those odds to see what they are. I'll do that while you're talking about yours here in a second, Rod. But been great on these bigger tracks. Go back to the Coke 600. Charlotte, guess where he started? That's right, on the pole. Finished in 3rd place on the day. So he's had some great days. The spring race here, finished in 17th after starting 24th, but that was before they figured stuff out in this car. He has been a guy that's been able to get up front. I completely forgot to mention Darlington, by the way. Intermediate track a couple weeks ago, 309 laps led. There's not even 309 laps in this race this weekend. Bristol, he also led 127. So he's had some really big DFS days for you. He's been really good on the 1.5 miles. He's just a guy that's been super reliable for us here lately. Give me Chase Briscoe at $97.
Yeah, and again, the whole just fact of the matter is Briscoe has been so much better in the second half of the season in that 19 car, figuring it out. It was funny because we were talking about driving a slow car and then driving a fast car and realizing exactly how much different it is to drive a much better handling car, and Briscoe's figuring it out. So good on him. I'm with you.
Plus 325, by the way, for pole. I would definitely take that on Chase Briscoe. Not even the favorite, Rod. For some reason, they're buying into Captain Chuck.
Well, I told you the only way that I take him is for an outright. Anything else, I'm not even worried about. Just if he wins the race, I don't want to be screwed if that happens. But
yeah, but if he wins the race, he's got to be a good DFS play because he only wins when he leads the 10,000 laps. Like he's not the type of guy that just puts himself in position late and wins races. He either has to dominate or you don't hear from him.
But I'm not going to tell you to play Kyle Larson in DFS because, like I said, if he wins the race and he beats me that way, then I don't want to miss out. But if he beats me in DFS, so be.
He is going to beat you by not winning the race, but
it's fine, whatever. I'll take Ross Chastain. I feel like this is a much more solid play in DFS than maybe Kyle Larson is. Maybe Kyle Larson's your GPP play, and if he wins, then that's fine. If not, then you have Ross Chastain, $9,000 for him to be played in this particular one. Look, if you look at our friends at iFantasy Race, they give us the NASCAR Next Gen average finishing heat chart for Las Vegas. Ross Chastain, number one with a bullet. Best average finishing position out of every driver in the field right now, 5.43 for Ross Chastain. One finish outside of the top 10 in the Next Gen era, and that was a 12th place finish in 2023. So not a completely terrible finish, just not a top 10 finish. And as I went on to say in the betting episode yesterday, he's only got 2 finishes outside of the top 5 on this track in the Next Gen era, which is a 7th place finish in the fall of 2024 and that 12th place finish. Other than that, 5th place in the spring earlier this year, a 4th place finish in the spring in 2024, 5th place in 2023, 2nd in 2022, 2020. So what does that mean in terms of fantasy points? Well, it also means that he's been fast as well. 4th place overall in the speed rankings chart in the index as well. Fantasy points, well, he got you 57.4 points last year. That was the 4th most of all drivers. He started 19th, finished finished 5th. He finished with some fish, I guess. I don't know. 2 fastest laps and 14 laps led in that race. In the 2024 fall race, he got you 40.6 points, started 7th, finished 7th, 8 fast laps, no laps led in that one. But in the 2024 spring race, he got you 62.35 fantasy points, started 20th, finished 4th, 13 fast laps, led 2. How about the 5th most fantasy points in the fall of 2023, where he got you 50.75, started 10th, finished 5th, 15 fast laps. So look, Ross Chastain, man, anytime he sets foot on this track, he's damn good. And especially for fantasy purposes, because he doesn't always qualify the best, but he's definitely finishing inside of the top 5, which gets you good place differential. And if he's not leading laps, that's what you want. So Ross Chastain, $9,000. Can't pass him up this week.
Yep, got my full endorsement on this one. I talked about him yesterday. You talked about him yesterday. We both really like him this week. Vegas has been his playground. He's been extremely, extremely good here. And Trackhouse, really, as we'll get into more here in a minute, has been very good at this track in particular, and gotten it done time and time again. Go back and watch his post-race interview. That ain't a guy that's quitting after getting knocked out of the playoffs. He's going to show up at a track that he loves and run really well. So I fully endorse that, Rod. I think you'll endorse this one. It is one of your favorite drivers, AJ Allmendinger. He has the 11th best active driver average finish on Las Vegas. And of course, we're at quite a few races here now, right? We've had 7 races in the Next Gen era. So a big sample size, 11th best average finish at 14.0. That's pretty solid. Back here in the spring, finished, I should probably mention his price, I suppose, by the way. He is $6,600. So nice lower end of the mid-tier guys there for you. But back in the spring, started in 18th, finished in 8th place. Beautiful day. Last fall, 22nd to 21st. You don't mind that, but 23rd to 18th before that. The fall of 22, 21st to 9th place. So pretty good runs there. And AJ Allmendinger has just been a guy all season that, we haven't seen the big flashy road course races like last week. He led some laps, finished in 9th place, fine. But he's been strong just on a week-to-week basis. Got caught up in some trouble at Kansas and ended up with a 36th place finish. So, that's going to happen, right? Wrong place, wrong time. But Darlington, 22nd to 5th place. Great run for him there on the bigger track. Indianapolis was a 23rd place finish. That's not horrible. Pocono, he started in 33rd, but worked his way up to 21st. You like to see stuff like that. Charlotte, the Coke 600, started in 5th, finished in 4th. for as long as that race was, the majority of the day found his way up front and up near the front kind of throughout the entire day. So a very strong season from AJ, just really week-to-week basis. 17th place at Michigan even as well. So been good on these mile and a halves. That team has been good. Talk about teams being good. Ty Dillon's been good week to week. AJ's been good week to week. And at $6,600, he's a reliable guy, going to get you good points. Has even top 5 upside potentially. And he's been pretty good on this track in the past. So AJ Allmendinger, $6,600.
I want to see him do so much better on the ovals. I know he's doing well. I know he's improving, but I want to see him be a contender, and I want to see him pick back up his road course game. It's just so frustrating sometimes to watch guys that are really good kind of slip because of guys that are even better that are coming up on the wings. SVG, but yeah, no, I like this. I definitely like AJ Allmendinger, especially on this track. Not a lot of folks are going to be probably after him, so you can differentiate yourself there as well. Somebody's going to skip right over. I believe people are going to skip right over Daniel Suarez at $6,700. I don't think we talked about him. Did we talk about him in the betting episode? I'm not sure we talked about him in the betting episode. You did. That's right. You did. I think I might have been zoning out at that point, but
probably. I only gave out his top 10 and his top 5 at 14-1. No big deal. Probably not going to happen. He's not done it the last 2 times we've been at this track.
But I will say that he is a fantastic cheat code for DFS on this one. You want to talk about the next gen average heating chart, finishes heat chart? I need to go back and big words are hard. Well, it's kind of difficult to say. Next gen average finishes heat chart. For iFantasy race. He sits 6th overall. I mean, again, like you had said, he's been a great finisher here. He finished 2nd in the spring, 3rd in the fall of last year, 11th, 15th, 10th, 16th. The only really bad finish he's had was in the fall of 22, or the spring of 2022 rather, where he finished 37 points. Well, where does that shake out in terms of fantasy points? Well, how about the most fantasy points in the spring race earlier this year, where he got you 70.5 points? Started 23rd, ended up finishing in 2nd, 10 fast laps, 12 laps led. Okay, well, that's kind of a fluke. No, not really. Got you the 2nd most fantasy points on the day in the fall of 2024, where he got you 76 points. Only Christopher Bell had more, and he had 112. That was kind of where it was at with that one. But Daniel Suarez started 23rd, finished 3rd, 2 fast laps, 57 laps led. All right, Rod, that's a 2-race sample. That's great. Now, how about 43 points? The 9th most fantasy points overall in the spring of 2024. Started 16th, finished 11th, got you 6 fast laps, ended up leading 15 in that one. All right, Rod, that's 3. No, let's keep going. How about the fall of 2023, where he got you 49 points? It started 36th, finished 15th. Daniel Suarez has been inside of the top 10 every single race since the spring of 2023, where he got you 51.15 points, started 24th, finished 10th, 7 fast laps. It's like we talked about with Joe Logano yesterday in the betting episode. Sometimes there are tracks that you can pull up all these other mile and a halves, and I'm not even going to for you. Talk about, well, but he wasn't good here. He struggled here. But when you get to Vegas, something about Las Vegas, Daniel Suarez loves it. Maybe it's the buffet. Maybe it's, being up 5 honey by midnight. I don't know what it is, but he loves him some Las Vegas, especially for DFS purposes. And at the price you're paying for him, I mean, you're only paying $6,700 for what could be a 60 to 70 point day. I'll take it every day of the week.
Yeah. Now, I absolutely love this play. Talked about him yesterday. As I mentioned, I had a couple of bets on him. He's been very, very good at this track. Really, really good finishes the last 2 times out here. And he's a guy that people just don't pay attention to. And in most weeks for good reason, because there's not a lot to pay attention to. His ride status is uncertain for next week, but coming off a good run at the Roval. You mentioned Phil over on Full Tank with Phil earlier. I was listening to that as well. He brought up Suarez. So it's always good to see a guy that's kind of off the wall like that when somebody like Phil's also on him. Like, okay, all the signs are pointing to this. I'm not looking at it wrong and not completely crazy. You obviously agree as well. So I love it. If you didn't have him in the dock at $6,700, I definitely would have. Daniel Suarez, a great play this weekend here at Las Vegas. Another good play. Gave him out at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, and it worked out pretty well for us. At $4,900, you can get Riley Herbst in that 35 Monster Energy Toyota. Look, he's only $4,900. Very cheap guy. if you're trying to squeeze in Hamlin and Briscoe and Bell, and if you feel like Captain Shook and these other guys at the top of the board, you're going to need to save some money. Go all the way down here with Riley Herbst, and I think he's a great play at this number. Talked about him at Kansas a couple of weeks ago. He's particularly better at the mile and a half. He was in the Xfinity Series as well. Sometimes that type of stuff transfers. If you're just good on a certain track type, yes, he's in completely different equipment. Yes, he's in a lesser team. It's not, he was racing for wins before. Now he's racing for 20ths, which is fine, but it does translate, right? And so you just have to scale it out differently, and that's what makes it a good play at this number. 30 points at Kansas at this price. That's a great day. And at Kansas, he started in 32nd. Beautiful. We love it. Doesn't start very well. Works his way up to 22nd. Very similar to Las Vegas in the spring, where he started in 34th, finished in 19th. That's what you're looking for. By the way, Las Vegas, the hometown of one Riley Herbst and the terrible Herbst chain of gas stations that he comes from. But very good here in the Xfinity Series. Again, Stewart Haas racing for most of these. Joe Gibbs racing even for a couple of them. So, take that for what it is. But 7th, 5th, he won here leading 103 laps, a dominant effort in October of 23. An 8th place finish, had a couple of 9th place finishes back in the JGR days as well. So, been very good on this track in the Xfinity Series. And I think the mile and a half stuff is kind of translated. And it's the same things we talked about a few weeks ago. That run at Las Vegas earlier on this season, went to Texas and he started in 21st and finished in 14th. That's a great mile and a half day. Charlotte, 31st to 28th. That's not even a horrible day, right? Kansas spring, he did fall back a little from 25th to 27th. But Michigan, a very similar story, starts in 34th, finishes in 25th. That's what you're looking for, and that's what he just did at Kansas a couple weeks ago. That's what he did here in the spring. I think he can do it again this week. So give me Riley Herbst, $40.
Yeah, and it's a hometown race for him as well. So definitely got that. He sleep in his own bed, eat his own food, eat his own buffet food.
Yeah, get some of mama's cooking, whatever. Yeah. And a guy like that, he's going to have a ton of family there. He's going to have a ton of friends there. Wants to show them, hey, look, I'm a 20th place guy in the Cup Series. It's a pretty big deal for a rookie even. Yeah, he's not doing what his teammates are doing, but he's performing very well. I think we'll see this isn't one where you have to worry about effort. It's going to be full effort from Riley.
Indeed. All right. Well, I'm going all the way to the bottom of the board for my low price driver. Never skip leg day, my friends. And today is leg day. Katherine Legge, $4,500 in that number 78 machine. When we talk about guys and gals at this particular price, we always say we just don't want you to lose points. And Katherine Legge has not lost you points.
She will. No. She can't. She literally can't lose you points. She cannot
lose you points because she starts pretty much dead last almost each and every week as she's done. Where she did that at the Glen, started 37th, finished 36th. She only got you 6 points on that one. But here's the upside of Katherine Legge. A 17th place finish at Indy at the Brickyard 400. She got you 47 points that day. That is just phenomenal day for Katherine Legge. But even if she gets you 16 points at Toyota, like she did in Sonoma, or 38 points like she did in Chicago, 14 points in Mexico, 19 points in her very first race that she raced in the 78. Again, all you want her to do is not lose you points, and so far she has not lost you points. In fact, the upside of finishing 10 spots higher or finish 10 spots higher than she starts is fantastic. And I'll tell you right now, her average start this season in those 6 starts is 36.5, but her average finish 27.5. So that's 9 full spots that she's getting you each and every week. Like we said, Phoenix, she got you 7 spots and got you a pretty decent day in Phoenix, the 19 points there. You'll take that at 45. That's almost 5 times what you're paying for her, right? And when you start to talk in terms of ROI, it's good.
Yeah, that was even her. Remember, she spun out in that race, and it was like, what is she doing in this series? Because she was still trying to feel out the cars and figure it out. Weird, nobody says that about Kyle Busch and what he spends every week. But anyways, she still got you a good day. So yeah,
78. So that 78 car has been pretty kind to her. She's been pretty kind to the 78, and I think she'll continue to get better. And Las Vegas, this mile and a half, give her an opportunity to feel out a mile and a half. Will she start in the back? Yeah. Is that where you want her? Absolutely.
Yeah. Hell yes. hopefully she starts dead last. I mean, it's too bad JJ Yaley's in this race to probably start behind her. But yeah, I mean, you want her to start as bad as possible. She's going to survive the chaos. There's going to be some attrition. It's going to give you points. And at such a cheap price point, you're going to make up the bigger difference in other places. And look what she did at the the Brickyard 400 rather, at Indianapolis. Great day there because she just survived attrition, found her way forward. And
you do love to see it indeed. All right, well then, that'll do it. Get out your pen and paper. We're going to go over our DFS picks for this South Point 400. Cody started you off with Chase Briscoe at $9,700 as his high price driver. I said Ross Chastain at $9,000 would be mine. Cody said AJ Allmendinger, my spirit driver, at $6,600. His mid-tier driver, I gave you Daniel Suarez at $6,700 is mine. Cody gave you Riley Herbst at $4,900 for his low-price driver, and it is leg day. Katherine Legge, $4,500 for my low-price driver. Cody, we are running out of races. We are running out of opportunities to talk about NASCAR for the year, but it's all right. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, go have some fun this weekend. Hey, it's Las Vegas. Enjoy it. Let's make a little bit of money. Pretty excited for the action at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Make sure you go back and listen. Last couple of days we had a ton of fun. Got in some fun arguments and had a good time with it. Those shows are always a lot of fun. So go back and check those out for betting on Cup Series, betting on the Xfinity Series. Talked about all the news that kind of came out over the last couple of days on those shows as well. And follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Tons of football content out over there for you and all kinds of other stuff. And best of luck to everybody. We'll see you next week. Super Speedway DFS. Oh, let's fucking
spin the wheel, my friends. All right. Yes, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. All kinds of great stuff going on over there. And have some fun, everybody. Good luck on all of your bets and all your DFS. We'll see you in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord, and hang out with us all weekend talking racing. All right. We'll see you guys next week for Super Speedway Racing. It's Dega. And we'll have some fun until then. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.